As some of you may have noticed, last year Himalayan Art Resources posted an article, a comparison between the Himalayan art, Kashmir, Nepal, Tibetan forms of the deity Achala, as a comparison with the very famous Fudomyo of Japanese Buddhism, and using the paintings and sculpture that were selected as national treasures. So what we're doing here is we're just introducing a few comparisons of different tantric figures from different cultures of Asia and Southeast Asia. And recently we posted some artworks of tantric works from Indonesia, from Java and Sumatra. And what I'd like to do now is introduce you to really one book. There's really only two authors I know that I'm familiar with for Indonesian art and tantric art, and that's Jan Fontaine, and he did the Sculpture of Indonesia. I think that was Abrams back in 1990. And then there was Entering the Dharma Dhatu, a study of the Gandhavyuha reliefs of Borobudur. And this was, I think, more recent. I think it was Brill 2012. Okay, so those are classics in the field. If you're interested in this subject, then they're must-haves. But what I want to talk about today is a publication called Worshipping Shiva and Buddha, the Temple Art of East Java. And this is done by a woman who I think is really quite educated and very knowledgeable, named Kinney. So this publication is relatively recent. I think it's 2003, and it's published by the University of Hawaii. Now, the real strength of the book for me is, of course, the images. There's just absolutely a wonderful selection of sculpture and architecture and deity figures. Now, of course, it's both Hindu and Buddhist, and sometimes it's very much mixed, which is a big point of this book, is worshiping Shiva and Buddha. Often it could be in the same temple. Now, the book is laid out in a chronological order with looking at the most important site locations, and then proceeding from the early periods down to around the 16th century. It might end. So the reason I recommend this publication so highly is because it's a lot more accessible financially than the Jan Fontaine books. They can be a little bit pricey, even if you're going to places like Abe Books online. The Worshipping Shiva and Buddha is quite affordable, and it has a tremendous amount of information in it. So we'll leave it there. You can press the like button. You can join HAR on Patreon and help support the work we do, and you can also subscribe, and you can also make a donation directly on the homepage of Himalayan Art Resources.